Can't you contact the Justice Department and tell them that we're in violation, and if they agree, can't they go to the judge and try to bring us into compliance?
Well, I don't know if I can do it as a member of Court Copwatch. Maybe the AMA as an amicus curiae might be able to do that. Members of the community, maybe we have the ability to contact them, but they don't necessarily have to respond to us. And the question here isn't really that whether you're complying with it and we want to complain about it, because the agreement allows for the DOJ itself to call you into the court. The question is whether or not the city's going to let the judge ask questions on a yearly basis, and that's all he wanted to do. And we want to have his ability to ask questions that may not be raised or answered at a city council hearing, because we ask you questions all the time, and a lot of the times we don't get the answers when we ask them. When he asks a question, you're going to have to answer the question.
But wouldn't his questions be about whether we're abiding by the agreement? And if we weren't abiding by the agreement, since it's with the Department of Justice, don't you think that they would be coming to him and saying they don't think that we're abiding?
Well, this is where I hope that we can hold the council members who've talked to this issue to their word, and that community will be judging whether or not the compliance has happened. Hopefully the community's voice will be heard through the AMA coalition, because they're the only community members with a seat at the table at this point in the courtroom.
But there'll be more members seated at the table once we have a COAC.
But they don't have access to the judge.
They have access to the council and to the DOJ. But that's kind of the point we're at here. We've got an agreement.
We've got an agreement.
I'm not clear why the judge needs to be involved, because the DOJ can take us back into court if we don't.
They could, if it was in their interest to do.
Essentially, we are now on probation. We're parolees. We've got this agreement. The DOJ is talking with us about compliance. You know, when are you going to get the COCO hired? What's the process for the COAC? That's a conversation I had just this past week with Department of Justice staff. So that's the process we're in right now. We are accountable to the Department of Justice as well as to our community. It's not clear to me what the extent of the judge's involvement is, and that's why I'm interested in finding out and having it written down.